In this video, we are going to talk about how to overcome your fear of speaking the English language. I'm not good in English, or I'm scared to speak English. A lot of people want to apply for a call center job, but they are scared to speak English, or they don't want to speak English because they don't want to be judged, or they don't really know if they can really speak English well. Well, I tell you now, if you are just scared of the language, then you can actually overcome that because maybe you really know how to speak English. You might not be perfect, but you know. It's just that the fear of speaking English is stopping you from doing so. Tip number one is to acknowledge your fear. Where is this fear coming from? Are you scared because people might judge you? Are you scared because people might laugh at you? Are you scared because you don't want to commit mistakes? Now, in learning the English language, you have to understand that it doesn't happen overnight. It is a continuous process, and for me, it's even a lifelong learning. And in my case, even though I have learned to speak in English in a satisfactory manner, I know that there is still so much to learn about the English language. So if you think that you are scared of speaking English just because people might laugh at you or might judge you, then don't be. Because you don't have to think of what other people will think about you. You have to focus on your own learning and on your own progress. You will never learn if you always think of what people are going to say about you. Nobody is perfect. So if you're scared of making mistakes, then you have to remove or eradicate that thinking from your brain or from your mind. Because again, even native speakers actually make mistakes. Your first goal is actually to be understood, because grammar, pronunciation, those things take time. So even though you don't have perfect grammar or you don't have perfect pronunciation, as long as you're understood by the person you're speaking with and your mistakes are not very glaring to the point that they change the meaning of your statements or your sentences, then it is okay, it is acceptable as long as you are understood. This is the same when you're working in a call center and you're speaking with your customers. You might have grammar and pronunciation slips here and there, and that is probably one of the things that scares you. It's because you might have wrong grammar or you might have wrong pronunciation. But really, if your customers understand you and understand what you are trying to point or what your message is, then it should be enough to deliver a good message or to have a positive interaction with your customer. I want to give you a non-industry example, and I will use myself as an example. I am a content creator, but my strength is mainly in blogging. But I know even before that I can speak English well. But I am not claiming that I have perfect English. It's just that I was very fond of reading English books and watching English movies ever since I was young. I would even read the herbal book with the herbal plants. That's how I started getting acquainted to the English language. And then, just early this year, January, I decided to make videos. But I was so scared and I was so insecure because I did not know if I could send my message through video. Although I worked as a trainer for such a long time, it's different if you speak with someone. If you speak with your audience in the video without actually seeing them. So my point here is that If you watch my videos, or if you've been watching my videos, I'm pretty sure you've noticed some grammar slips or some pronunciation slips here and there. But my goal is to be understood. So sometimes if I see that the grammar and pronunciation slips are not glaring, or I can still be understood by my audience or by my viewers, then I continue to deliver my message. I just let it go. And some people might correct me, and that's okay. And that should also be the case with you. Do not be afraid to be corrected, because that is one of the ways for you to learn and for your mistakes to be corrected right away, and for you to not repeat that same mistake in the future. So again, do not think of what other people will tell about you or your English. Just continue practicing, move on. And then do not be afraid that people will judge you, because again, everybody makes mistakes. As long as you acknowledge your fear, and as long as you're willing to accept it and overcome it, then everything should be good. Tip number 2 is to practice consistently. And I have been saying this every time I speak about English communication in my videos. Sometimes when you are afraid of speaking English, or you are scared because you might be judged, your desire for perfection is stopping you from practicing consistently. Because you might get disappointed that, oh, okay, I keep on making mistakes anyway, so why should I practice? Well, actually, that is one good reason for you to practice even more, because you want to be able to correct your mistakes and you want to be better every day. So I tell you, practice consistently. It doesn't matter how long, as long as you do it daily. For example, 15 minutes daily, 30 minutes daily, as long as it is daily. You have to practice speaking the English language. And how will you practice? I have videos about that I can link on the cards up there, and after this video, if you reach the end of this video, I'll also link it. And you can also check out my playlists for improving your English communication. Tip number 3. This is actually the last tip that I have for this video, because I want to keep it short and sweet, as I already have some videos regarding this, and I want you to focus on the most important things, or the key points about overcoming your fear of speaking the English language. So my 3rd tip is to actually approach your English language learning in a fun way. Sometimes you get too disappointed and upset with your learning because you punish yourself too much, or you're so hard on yourself. Like, forgive yourself for not perfecting the English language. Forgive yourself for making mistakes. You can always learn again, which is why in number 2 I said you have to practice every chance you can get. And you have to remember that not everybody will understand you. Not everybody will be patient with you, and we have to accept that. You just have to be patient with yourself, even if others are not. When you approach your English language learning with humor or in a fun way, it will be much easier for you to learn, because you're not taking yourself too seriously. And after all, every time we practice something, or every time we learn something, it sticks to us, or it helps us remember well if it's done in a fun way. Am I right? So in the grand scheme of things, let's just say you haven't applied yet for a call center job. You are still planning, but you're scared of speaking English. Then you have to start doing something about it, because if you stop with fear, then nothing's gonna happen to you. You will never learn. You have to start overcoming that fear and try your best to learn as much as you can. Now, if you are already hired as a call center agent, but somehow you still have this, you're still hesitant, you're still not confident of speaking the English language, then just think of this. Just the fact that you were hired in the call center just means that the interviewer and the company has found a potential in you. You might not have perfect grammar, pronunciation, interaction, but they found your potential and that you can be trained, you can be better, you are understood when you speak English. So take that chance and opportunity to learn more and to be better. And actually, the good thing about that is when you start your training and when you start taking calls, you will be able to practice your English more. And subconsciously, that means you will not know that you are already getting there and that you are already getting better. You might not notice it. And when I started in the call center industry, I had so many things in mind that I wanted to learn that I just really learned when I started taking calls. So take advantage of that. Okay? And so that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you do overcome your fear of speaking English. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and leave comments below if you have questions or any clarifications or anything you'd like to tell me. And remember, I always have videos every Wednesdays and Fridays, so see you on those days and anytime you like. Take care and bye-bye.